We are a holistic, diverse ministry for the entire family, grounded in love in order to save the lost, disciple believers, build strong families, and be change agents for Christ in the community. We call ourselves life changers because when you connect with us, our core values of the welcome, the worship, the word, and the witness will change your life forever. Need a change? The new life experience is simply life-changing.
Welcome to eChurch. I'm so thankful and grateful that you are part of eChurch tonight, today, this evening, midnight, early in the morning, whenever you're watching eChurch. I'm glad that you are, and I'm so thankful to be a part of this moment in your life. Got a word for you on today with eChurch. Got a word for you on today. But before I get into the word, just want to invite you to plant into new life. I want you to plant into new life. If you are a life changer, you already know the drill. There's multiple ways that you can give your tithes and offerings. If you're not, you're watching this right now. We believe in the local church. So please give your tithes to your local church. We would love that you plant a seed, though, in this ministry if it is blessing you. We're thankful and grateful that you are a part. Please feel free to help us grow and to reach so many more people than we already reach. We reach people here right now that are in the local area here in the O'Fallon Metro East area of St. Louis. We also have churches in Africa as well. And when you plant in here, your money makes a difference both locally and globally.
Life Changers, remember to give your tithes, offering, and generosity matching. There are multiple ways to give. May God bless you. Thank you for watching eChurch.
How many of you have ever had an opportunity or a thought in your mind, you know what, I'm not going out like that. I'm not going down like, it ain't going down like this. You had some kind of sense of, I'm going to get through this. Well, let me give you the word that will empower you the more to refuse to be defeated. Refuse to be defeated. Here is the text here, and it's Jude 17 through 25. I'm only going to read, though, the 24th verse. Jude, just a book, no chapters really, just a book, the 24th verse. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. He's going to present you faultless in the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. In our text, we find the half-brother of Jesus concluding his letter to the church with a statement that on the surface seems to be disconnected and unrelated to the 23 verses that preceded. Some scholars say this letter is really a sermon, which the first part of the sermon doesn't really fit the last part or the closing of the sermon. When I was in seminary, my homiletics professor, which is the class that teaches you how to preach or helps you to learn how to preach and deliver a message effectively, would always say, don't introduce anything new in the conclusion. You just want to summarize it. You want to have a celebration, but don't introduce anything new. So you would ask yourself the question, when you read the 24 verses of Jude, you see one part of Jude one way, and then the last verse comes out of nowhere. So you kind of wonder what's going on. Let me help you. In Jude, we have this one verse that starts with the word now. Now, write it down. Write it down. Now, as it is used in the text, has at least twofold meaning. One meaning has to do with time. The word indicates the tense of time as it relates to his comments. In other words, it is not yesterday nor tomorrow that what Jude is saying will have the most meaning. Jude is saying right when. Come on, now. Jude is saying the most important meaning in verse 24 will be the present tense right now. And I know that dealing with what we're going through right now, that it is important that we get a word from the Lord. We hear from the Lord. Lord, I need to hear from in this situation, in this pandemic, in my marriage, in my family, what I'm going through right now. I need to hear from you, God. When? Right now. Right now. 50,000 plus people have died due to corona at the recording of this message. God, I need to hear from you. When? Come on, class. Right now. I need to hear from you right now. So now is relevant because of what we are confronted with right now. The second meaning of the word now, as it is used in the text, is a conjunction. It pulls together 24 and 23, verse 23 and 24. Jude has emphatically said now because the previous verses he has made some statements that directly link to the 24th verse. Unto him that is able to keep us from falling or failing. That is what the bottom line is. Why would Jude say there is someone to keep you from falling and failing or being defeated unless there is a possibility that you can be defeated? In fact, Jude tells us how we can be defeated in graphic detail in the first part of the letter. Let's kind of walk through that. The 11th verse. Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Kor. He says, godless men have slipped into the fold. The 4th verse says, for there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained or old time to this condemnation, ungodly men turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord, our God and our Lord Jesus Christ. What's going on in this text? Here it is. He is saying, when he pulls in the word now, unto him that is able to keep you from falling or failing, he's saying before that, this is all that could pull you out. This is all that could knock you out. This is all that could cause you to fail. But now unto him that can keep you from doing that. Here is where we are right now. Here is to the one that in this very moment, whatever you're dealing with right now, whatever it is, lay it right here. But now, I see God is saying, I see all of that you're dealing with. But right now, unto him that is able to keep you from falling, the one that can keep you from not being taken out. What else does he say? It says they have the spirits of Cain, that spirit of Cain, that shade spirit. You know what I'm talking about. That I'm going to throw some shade on you. Cain says, not only am I going to throw shade on you, I'm going to kill you. We have the same spirit today, baby. Same spirit today. I don't murder you physically, not necessarily with a gun or a knife. I murder you with my words, with my tongue. So they have the spirit of Cain. They have this whole thing of Balaam for reward. In other words, I got guys and gals out here just saying words that they might get a reward. Because you remember Balaam is the prophet that was hired to curse the children of Israel or the nation of Israel, and because they wanted to speak a curse on them and not a blessing. Well, you know the story, I preached it before. It says, no, can't do that, because what God has blessed, can't no man turn around. So what do you do that? The next thing he says, this is the spirit of Korah. That is a rebellious spirit, going against authority spirit. Nope, can't do that. Can't do that. He says, now, with all of this happening, let's make application to right now. With all of this happening, you know what, Bishop, I'm struggling with my job. You know, they furloughed me. They put me off. I haven't made any money. You know what? I got a gig thing. Not only do I have my regular job, I used to do this gig thing. And the gig thing really helped me to make it more than the job. That was the stuff that filled in the blanks. That was the stuff that I had money in my pocket. I'm struggling right now. That's what's happening with me when? Right now. And God is saying, I'm the one that will keep you from failing or being defeated. How? How do we know that? Here's how we know that. I like it. It's going to give you 3 things that's really going to help you see how you know that you're not going to fall. You're not going to fail. You're not going to be defeated in this moment. Not right now. Number 1, realize God is able. Come on, say that. God is able. Write it down. God is able. In order for us to understand how we will not be defeated, we must realize that God is able. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly more than we could ever ask or think by the power that works within us. Come on, write that down. Ephesians 3:20. It is in his ability that we will do everything. Apart from him, we can do what? Nothing. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is what Jude is telling the church in his sermon. There's some defeat stuff over here that's waiting to defeat you. All right? Like any sporting event, you cannot win in the locker room, on the blackboard, or dry erase board. You got to go play the game. But when we look at the blackboard, when we look at the film, when we look at the situation, everything says we could be defeated. If you ever noticed this, and many of you know I love sports, all right? Love to play sports, okay? But one thing that you notice about sports, and they will say this, when we look at it on paper, we could easily lose this game. And a good championship person will never come out right and say, we're going to beat them. They say, if we do this, if we do that, we hope that we're going to win. Why? Because you never want to excite the enemy to the point that they redouble their efforts. You know what? Don't give Satan any conversation. Don't give him any power. You just talk about the game plan that God has given you. Now unto him that is able to keep me from being defeated, even though I see on paper the enemy has everything against me, knows a whole lot of stuff I like to do that I ain't got no business doing. But now unto him that is able to keep me from falling. I like to share this with this. When I was a chaplain, and there was one of the elders there who's now pastoring in the area, Pastor Shay Holmes, and she would always say to me, I always remember it when I got here, assigned here, and she would say, you know what, Pastor, it's time to say benediction on that. It's time to say a benediction. Do you not know that there are times when you need to know that, realize that God is able, because you can say a benediction on that. Romans 8:31 says this, what then shall we say in response to this? If God is for us, who can be against us? Psalms 18:35 says this, you give me your shield of victory, and your right hand sustains me. You stoop down to make me great. Good God, I can get out of this chair and run. You stoop down to make me great. In other words, I'm so low in my situation, but you're not going to forget about me, God. You're going to stoop down to make me great. Here's the second thing that you need to grab. Now unto him that is able to keep me from falling or failing and present me faultless. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Judges 6:15. I love this. Now here is the story of Zerubbabel. You know him as Gideon. Zerubbabel means to cut, to draw down. Here it is. And Gideon, this is what he's thinking. God has called him. God is saying you're going to be victorious. If you go in the game plan, you will see they got everything that can defeat you, Zerubbabel. They can beat you, Gideon. But I need you to do this. Judges 6:15. But Lord, Gideon talking. Gideon asked, how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family. The 12th verse. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon and said, the Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Did not God speak right into his life? The Lord is with you, mighty warrior. I don't care how you see yourself. You need to see yourself how God sees you. Wait, let's pause right here. God gave his son for you. He did not permit his son to die for you for a loser. If you were a loser, do you think God would have permitted his son to die for you? He died for you because you're victorious in him. Listen to what the word says. But sir, Gideon replied, if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Great question. You can ask yourself that question right now. If God is with me, Bishop, you don't know the hell I'm dealing with right now. Where are all his wonders that our fathers told us about when they said, did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and put us into the hand of Midian. Now, you know what? Gideon raised some great questions here. Great questions. And this is what I know about it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I had a professor in seminary, and he would always say, you know what? Don't skip over the difficult things in the text. It's the difficult things in the text that will help the difficult things that are in people's lives. Don't always look for the easy answers in the text. Sometimes the complexity of the text helps to reach the complexity in people's lives. There's a lot of complexity in here because what Gideon is saying, Zerubbabel is saying, is true. He is the least of his family. His family is the least in the clan. His clan is the least in the tribe. He ain't nobody, okay? Don't nobody know his name. He don't have any Twitter followers. His Instagram account is 0. He following everybody else. Don't nobody follow him. This guy has nothing going for him. So he rightfully brings this up. Not only that, he raises another question. God, if you're all that, why in the hell am I going through what I'm going through right now? If you're all that, then why am I facing what I'm facing right now? So this is what he says to him. Okay, don't worry about it. I got you. Believe in yourself is what he says. You're a mighty warrior. Speak that into your life. You are a mighty warrior. Here's the third and final thing. Change the way you think. I like to say this. Change the way you think, change where you end up living. Change the direction of your life. Change the way you think. If you do not change your thinking, you will be defeated. The battle you must win first is the battle between your ears. If you do not change the way you think about what God has for you, you will never be victorious. God can be for you, but if you don't change your mind, then you give God nothing to work with. I think it has already been said. I'll say it again. If you don't change how you think, he can't change your situation. He can speak into your life, but you have to speak into your life. You have to know that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. You have to have the understanding that I have everything I need to win and defeat the enemy. You will be defeated if you don't do those things, but you will win if, let's say it again, change your thinking, believe in yourself, and realize God is able. Now, let's put it together. Now unto him that is able to keep you from failing and falling, and that's going to present you faultless before an all-wise God. He's going to present you because, why? All that you could fall down to, It's connected to the now of the moment, that he is the one that's covering you, that's going to cause you to win. You cannot be defeated when you come into him. If you're feeling defeated right now, if you're feeling like, man, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, I don't know how to make it, I want you to, at this moment, make a decision for Christ. I want you to make a decision to come back to him if you've left him. I want you to make a decision to kind of pull things together in your life. All you have to do is text the word decision to 71441. We'll reach out to you. Give your life to Christ. All you have to do is just also not only text the word decision to 71441, but you can also give your life to Christ right now in this moment. ABC. Admit, believe, confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, died on the cross for you. Confess that he's coming into your heart. Thank you for being with me. I bless God for you. And remember, refuse to be defeated.
Life Changers. Remember to give your tithes, offering, and generosity matching. There are multiple ways to give. May God bless you. Thank you for watching eChurch. IDEX Media does a lot. From IDEX Photography to IDEX Films. We help create forever memories and forever impressions. Imagination. Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.